Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Startup Operator podcast. With us today, we have Sahiba Sethi, who is the founder and CEO of Hello Meets, which is a global community of folks centered around knowledge sharing. They've done over 800 physical and virtual meetups in the last 5 years, and we'll learn more about aspects of building and engaging a community in this conversation. Welcome to the podcast, Sahiba. Thank you so much for making the time.
Thanks, Roshan. It's great to be on your podcast.
So I've been, I've hosted a couple of Hello Meets events, and I've been part of a few others as well. I've always been curious. How did you get started with Hello Meets? Take us through that founding story.
Oh, it's a long story, but I'll summarize. So I was coincidentally, whatever I did in the last year of college and like after college, before starting with Hello Meets, everything was related to people somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how Hello Meets and how it happened. Like I was very rigid that I was very sure that I want to do a business, but what business I didn't know. So in the last year of my college, in last semester, like some companies started coming to college, and one of them was Square Yards, which is a real estate startup. And because I didn't have any idea, so I was like, it's okay, it's a startup. Let me go for a few months. At least last 6 months of the college, I won't have to sit in the class, and I'll get a feel of the startup, how it works, and I'm sure this team must be small. I thought like that, and I'll get to know actually how things happen. So I went, but frankly speaking, I'm very moody when it comes to my execution and my performance. Like I can be the worst performer, worst executor if I'm doing the wrong thing, like basically the thing that I don't love. So this has
Right.
happened, like I think two things say this like really well, because like number one, this job, because I was there for 1 month and I was really like very insincere. Like I used to put like wrong numbers on my Excel sheet and just fake names and submit it to my manager because I was in the BD team. And then I have one more example to support this. So in school also, I was very random, like mostly like mostly I'm sure like a student, like there must be like one student who get in 90s and one in like 60s, 70s, or maybe 80. Like basically the trend is same, right?
Yeah.
Like my trend has never been same. Like you will be surprised, like even in like class 12th I got like 33 in maths, and like 95 in business studies, and like I think 89 in economics. So the thing is like, and it's not only about class 12th. I still remember like there was a time when I got zero in maths when I was in class 4th, and then the teacher complained my parents, and I was like a very ziddy student. So the next day, like next in the next test, I got 20 out of 20. So it used to be like I've always been a very passionate
Mm.
person. If I like something, I'll do really well. Otherwise I can be the most dumb person. Like people can think like she doesn't know anything. Like I'll be,
Right.
I'll perform that bad.
That's
So
actually a
that was
good
the
thing.
thing. So
That's actually a good
so
thing. I
yeah.
mean, you should double down on what you like, and not do the stuff that you don't like. Generally, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. So yeah, so I think this personality trait has been very important for Hello Meet. So that happened, and that's why I had the courage to give up on that job. I got my first salary, and I went to the HR's room, and everyone was very young over there because it was a startup. So I was like, and I still remember I was a funny kid. I called her Didi, not even HR. I was, because it was her first job. I didn't know ki workspace mein
Right.
you don't call like Didi and Bhaiya. I was like, Didi, like I want to, leave this job. I'm not happy. So what is the procedure? And anyway, so wo ho gaya. And then I just knew one person. Like I didn't have any network. Like this all network has been created, while doing Hello Meets. So I didn't have any. It was not only about idea. I didn't have anyone to do the, startup with. And then basically I just had one person in mind who was my cousin's friend. So I used to
Mm-hmm.
chill with my cousins a lot in Delhi. Then I heard this guy saying his name is Tanmay. So I heard him talking about his startup, because then he was doing a car sharing startup. So he was the only person I knew. So I just called him one of those days, like जब मैं एक महीना काम करी थी. I called him that, hey तन्मय भैया, and look at my, even my words, they were so naive. I used to like call like तन्मय भैया कि मुझे startup करना है. So क्या हम इकट्ठे कुछ कर सकते हैं? So that time I was very lucky, because even his startup it was doing really well, but there was investment problem because he was the only founder. He couldn't raise money, and it was into car sharing. So of course he needed more funds. So yeah, so he was also open to exploring more opportunities, and he also remembered me like a very passionate kid in, in college, who used to
Sida
talk a
sada.
lot and had, good skills and all. Yeah. So he was like, so he took me seriously, and I felt really nice, and I was like, he was like, okay, kal main aata hu ghar and let's discuss ideas. So my ideas were really funny. I didn't know anything then, like no software, no tools, like I didn't know like ye kya hota hai. ये तो
Right.
like तब पता होता है when you know like what are the opportunities. I didn't know anything. So my सीधा साधा idea was like, I used to love talking, so I was like, hey, I really want to become a motivational speaker, and I really follow, Robin Sharma and all. Let's start with something like that. And there's a lot of money. I've seen the ticket price is really high. So what I did, I started watching all these, motivational speakers like Robin Sharma, then Mark Sanborn, like he takes leadership workshops for Starbucks employees and all. So I used to like just, and I was very good at mimicry. So that somehow helped me, because when I used to watch their videos, I could actually mimic, like, the way they talk, and I could actually memorize their lines and all. So it was really funny. So yeah, so we started, pitching to some NGOs, because of course, like I thought like bade log nahi abhi sunenge, okay, let's go to some NGOs, and let me create that resume that I've done some workshops. So I had built some, some modules which are dream, vision, and we used to make children do activities like, they used to visualize how their life will look like after some years, and so that they can
Wow.
dream big. So that those were the things I was, doing then. And then what happened, one fine day, मेरा दिमाग और खराब हो गया ये videos देख के, and I was like, मैंने रात को 11 बजे I called him and I was like, hey तन्मय भैया सुनो, कल hotels चलते हैं. So he was like, 5-star hotels क्यों जाना है? मैंने बोला, अरे आपको नहीं पता है, मैं फॉलो करती हूँ इन सबको. They do workshops for hospitality and all, and there's big money there, like let's try. So and I think the biggest advantage was also because I was very naive, and at the same time I was very confident. It was not, for me it was not like lying. For me it was like I was believing in it, like I can do it. Like I think managers will listen to me. so, so yeah, next day we gate crashed into 18 hotels of different sizes. There was Tree, there was Azra, we went to Trident, we went to Oberoi's, we went to Fortune. So at some places, HRs actually met us where they're free. And at some places we got their cards, and things like that. Someone gave us their number that, okay, you email later and all. But a few people spoke to us, and the people who spoke to us, that really gave me confidence, because they actually spoke to me, like they were actually asking questions, and I was able to talk to them. It wasn't key, like I don't know anything, like I can't answer and all. But the only problem was, there are big groups, like Fortune and all these, right? Like they have to send their presentation to their headquarters and then get an approval. So they were like, so all meetings ended with this note that, okay, like we can
We'll get
explore,
back
but
to you.
can you please, send us a presentation with your past customers. And I
Okay.
didn't have any customers, right? I can't put NGO kids on that presentation, right? So it was a good learning, but I enjoyed. And so the next day again, I meet Tanmay, who was, with me at Hello Meets, like we were co-founders. So we met at Starbucks, and I was like, hey Tanmay, अब क्या करूं मैं, कल ये मीटिंग्स तो कर ली, अब मैं क्या भेजूं? तो ही वाज लाइक, देखो झूठ तो नहीं बोल सकते हो, इसको एज लर्निंग. मैं भी आपके साथ इसीलिए गया था, बिकॉज आप मेरे से छोटे हो, आप ऐसी हरकतें कर लोगे, मैं इस एज में नहीं करूंगा. बिकॉज ही वाज 8 years elder to me then. So I was 22 plus 23, and he was like, I think 20, he was, I think, 31, 32. So that's it. He was like, it's okay, you learned a lot, you gained confidence, you got to know ki aise hote hai scales, sales scale, and now you will never feel shy while talking to a stranger. You will gate crash in your life always. So that was the learning. And then I was like, but karun kya, like mujhe to ye karna hai, motivational speaker banna hai. So he was like, okay, do one thing. So he randomly, maybe because he didn't give too much thought to it, but thanks to him, he also, like, because he was there, and all this happened. So I asked him, to fir karun kya hai? So he randomly told that, like, I have seen, all these motivational speakers, they write a book, it becomes famous, and then they speak. So I took that also very seriously,
Right.
and I actually started doing that, and I've written a book. So then my next question was on what. So he was like, entrepreneurs. I was like, मैं तो किसी entrepreneur को जानती ही नहीं हूँ, like कोई network ही नहीं है मेरा. So anyway, so he was like, यार देखो, मैंने इतना hint दे दिया है, अब तुम खुद ही देखो. तो मैं घर गई and I started googling top 10 entrepreneurs business world. So I was just putting numbers and magazine names, Business World, NDTV. So जो list निकल रहा था उसको I was putting on my Facebook and I was doing adding every entrepreneur. And I'd made a very naive message saying that, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm writing a book on 100 top 100 entrepreneurs of India. And back then I didn't know. I didn't have that art of identifying who's a good entrepreneur, who's not, which startup will work, which not. Like, of course, वो तो खैर investors को भी नहीं पता होता, but still, like still at least I know something now. Like then जो भी मेरे को PR में दिखा, I just added them and I asked them that, hey, I would like to interview you. So finally, I think I interviewed around 7 people, and my book has 4. So I recorded all the interviews on my phone. I met these people like three times, each one of them really good entrepreneurs. Coincidentally, I was lucky there also. Like coincidentally, all of them, I think, yeah, all of them have been speakers at Hello Meets. Can you imagine? Like all of them, like
nice.
The people I covered then, and then like Hello Meets did not exist, right? So and they're doing well, like all of them. So yeah, so I learned a lot, and there also, my strategy was different. I wasn't asking them like what does Hello Meets do, like not very tactical questions, but I was asking them that what made you do this, like how was your childhood, like. And I figured that each one of them like was very crazy, like they had a different story, like, really different story. And there was definitely some relationship with their childhood. It wasn't only about ki ye kar liya aur ye ho raha hai. So yeah, I really dig deep and I really enjoyed it. And then I think then I think it was, I graduated in May 2014, and then I started with Hello Meets in May 2015. So this 1 year, I was writing book, I was doing those workshops. And then there was a time, I came to Kashmir. A really devastating flood came to Kashmir in 2014 September, and then I was stuck here for a month, and somehow I was bored a bit. And that time also I remember I got all my Robin Sharma books here. I had bought the entire bundle. I think then there were 13 books by Robin Sharma. I don't know how many are there now. So I was reading them. I was stuck in the house on the second floor. And then, because, itne there I was exploring. So, of course, I was feeling bad also because my peer was making me feel that, some of them were doing MBA and some of them were doing job. And I was the only one who was, who used to just wake up randomly and go to startup founders' offices to talk to them. So that was my work. Like I wasn't earning anything, doing anything. So that was somehow making me feel a bit uncomfortable. So what I did, I was like, it's okay. Abhi, I'm writing a book. Let me do one thing. Let me take a job in a media startup, and specifically a startup that covers startups itself, a media that covers startups. So, I'll get some exposure. I'll make some connect, even I improve in case, I'm planning to do this book formally. So I joined, I was the first employee at Inc. 42, just for 5 days. So look at my, I told you, right? Like my trend is really bad, like anything. So I went there for 5 days, and then, I realized कि यार मजा तो नहीं आ रहा है, यहाँ पे रह के क्या होगा, like कर लेंगे, but then कुछ महीने के बाद फिर फालतू में शायद अटक ही जाए. अब इनकी फंडिंग होगी, थोड़ी सी शायद सैलरी बढ़ जाए, तो एज अ बच्चा तो चलो खुशी हो जाओगे, राइट, कि चलो मिल रहा है, चलो रह जाते हैं. तो आई वाज लाइक नहीं, छोड़ो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, वैसे भी कुछ इतना ज्यादा तो मिल नहीं रहा, अभी तो लर्न ही करना है, राइट. सो आई हैड दैट अप्रोच एंड आई गेव अप दैट आल्सो. सो then again I started meeting, and we started discussing different ideas. And first idea was to run a co-working space. One of my cousins had a place which she was about to rent, and she somehow again had confidence in me because of my hustler attitude. And she was okay, like, you want to do something and right now you want to learn, like, why don't you run a co-working over here, like I'll help you. And anyway, I'm planning to rent it out to some business or something, like, and you don't give me rent, we'll work on some profit sharing, this thing. And which was good for a student, right? Like, because I was getting an opportunity to learn and to get people, because I would learn from that, right, from getting startups to that space and all. So then what happened about this, but then while I was going back from this meeting with Tanmay to my place, I got in mind ki shit, like, isse but kya ho jayega zyada, right? कुछ बेटर कर लेते हैं, कुछ स्केलेबल थोड़ा सा कर लेते हैं. सो देन आई थॉट कि इस जगह को छोड़ो, आई टेल माय कजन की कोई बात नहीं, शी शुड गिव इट टू सम आउटसाइडर एंड let us do a marketplace for co-working spaces. So then again, we started with a journey of gate crashing to properties. We used to go to each market every day and enter underutilized office spaces and ask them that, would you like to share your rent with somebody else and all. So we got 400 tables on board. And also we started matchmaking a few customers, but then it didn't work out too well and we didn't feel too passionate about it. And then finally we came to Hello Meet. So we used to work from SDA Market, which is right opposite to IIT Delhi. And there, I met my present advisor, Vishal Chandra. So he has been, I think, the biggest, I think the most lucky person for me, yeah, because I was totally completely naive. So we were working on this, and he started helping us with the co-working idea as well. So because as naive people, we didn't know anything. We didn't know how to go about user research and everything. So he gave us this concept of focus, like just go by just choose one market, and if that works well, then expand. So, and whereas like we were going very wide, we were just going to this market, that market, and that was becoming very tedious. And then when we gave up on this idea, so again Hello Meets came because of him. Because when we gave up on this idea, so then by then we had started working from his office. We were working from a cafe, and one day he asked us that, why are you spending so much, and right now you're not even earning, like come to my office and work from there. And first day we were very shy. Second time we accepted the offer and we went there. And then when we gave up on this idea, he was like, are you guys even serious about doing a startup? He became a little serious. Maybe he thought like helping, but maybe they're serious. So then I was like, no, I want to do a startup, but I want to do something which I can do for like a really long time. So we went to a cafe, and I still remember it was Barista, SDA Market, 20th Feb. Like I think I have a good memory. So yeah, Feb 2015, and he asked me a simple question: what do you love doing? And because I had done everything related to people, like I just told you, right? So my spontaneous answer was like, I love meeting people. So he was like, sochna kya hai, isi ko business bana lo. So Hello Meets was born. Yeah. It was a very long
Wow.
answer, right? Yeah.
No, but that's amazing. So more than a couple of things that I can pick up on, the fact that a lot of the grand vision that we see, right? I mean, usually starts with very small beginnings, and this is true for any startup or any even Fortune 100 company that you can think of. And the amount of hustle that you've put in, right, from that beginning of Robin Sharma books to now when you've done 800 plus meetups. So that's a heck of a lot of hustle. I mean, it's super inspirational the way you started this, right? So yeah, kudos to you on that. Yeah. So 5 years when you look back, right? I mean, you've done these 800 plus meetups and so on. What are some of the learnings that you've had in terms of getting people together and surfacing good content, networking opportunities, so on and so forth, right? So what are few of the things that you've learned in the 5 years?
Yeah, I think I'll overall say, like, other than community building also. So I think number one, what I've learned, we should be really good at saying no. I think everybody says this, but yeah, like I did some mistakes there when I was very naive. When I just started with Hello Meets, everybody was used to, because we used to do events, right? So everybody used to email us saying that, hey, let's catch up, I need some customers, can you connect me with this, and can you connect me with that? And I used to say yes, because back then I didn't have so much maturity to decline
Right.
stuff. But now I think I'm very, very calculative, like good calculative. Like I won't say that I decline stuff. I love helping people, but then now I've understood there are only 24 hours and we need to prioritize. And I don't think like someone will feel bad, like so yeah, now I'm very clear about that. And so that's very important. I feel we should be really good at saying no, and we should not feel that someone will feel bad. And then second, we should
I think
help
it's
people.
it's best for both of the parties involved. Usually, I mean, I see that you'd rather be honest and say no when you can't really help someone out, or it's not in both your interests, rather than say a half-hearted yes. So I agree with you on that.
True. And then second, I feel now I've realized that everything compounds. Of course, when I started, this was natural in me. Like I used to love networking and love helping people and all. But then now, because there's so many years to look back, so now I've realized that everything compounds. Even if you do, like, I'm sure, like, you as a marketer, your skills have also compounded. Like, because it's not just about applying some tool. Like, I'm sure now you understand humans better. How will they react to a certain copy, etc. So similarly, like everything, literally, everything compounds. Now we have been doing this since past 5.5 years, so I'm sure the trust has compounded, the credibility has compounded. Like, so everything, like, really, adds to your resume of life. Like, people respond to you easily because they can see, the entire point. I really believe in the power of compounding. So, but yeah, no one knows that big in the beginning. So I'm sure if I'll say this, like, the beginners won't understand right now because I didn't understand then. So everything happens by
Right.
doing. And then what else? Okay, third, I think psychology is really important. Like, okay, mine is not a very heavy tech startup, but I feel even in tech startups, it might be like really important for founders, for marketers, for everybody. And that's something we like really ignore. I don't know why, but it's really important because if you know psychology better, you will be able to, create better app, better website, better. And even, even like leave the formal sales emails and sales pitches. Even I feel the way you reply, even the way you reply on WhatsApp, like, if you're good in psychology, if you know, like, okay, my objective is this, that I have to get this thing from this person, then you would know what word you have to write, what word you should not write, and it really makes a difference. I've seen this happening a lot, maybe because I've been dealing with people a lot. So suddenly, now recently, I have been like very conscious about this. Yeah. So yeah, I really feel people should work on understanding people, because I've also seen, like, when there are new people, like, I'm sure, like, you also must be hiring a lot of people in your marketing team and all. So sometimes, these kids, like, they just want to, make things fast. They'll be like, कोई automate कर लेते हैं tools से and all, but that's bad for them. Actually, that's bad for their learning also. I think why I've learned so much, because we used to hustle a lot, right? We used to meet people in person, so that part gave me so many learnings. And then even when we did our first event, we used to take out so much data from LinkedIn. Like, I used to connect with people 101. So tab pata nahi chala, but I'm sure the when I was typing, when I was getting the response, everything was adding on to my knowledge, that what should I write, and what will make them say yes, etc. So that's then that I'm sure offline is thanks to offline events also for that part. So yeah, I feel one should like go a bit slow, because at the end of the day, whatever technology is doing for humans, and humans are going to pay us money. So everybody should like really prioritize, to learn humans. So that's one more thing. Yeah, I think these three things are coming to my mind right now. Yeah, four, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, I
Yeah.
said compounding also. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned automation. A lot of the times, automation just helps you do dumb things faster. You know, you really have to focus on the human element and really understand from every interaction that you have and optimize for doing better, right? And this value of compounding is just one of those things that comes with a lot of maturity, and and it's visible, right? I mean, you see this when you look back quite often, right? I mean, how did I get here, kinds. So, yeah. Okay, really sorry for the interruption. I'm just going to take a minute to talk about something amazing. Clovo helps your remote teams be more productive by helping them close decisions more faster. I've worked remotely for the last 4 months, and it's just a lot of going back and forth on Slack, on email, on Zoom, etc., but never really getting to a point of execution, right? Well, Clovo makes things a lot more simpler. You can have communication contextually around decisions that you want to make. All you have to do is open a thread on Slack like this and continue to talk about what you want to do. With a set agenda, it could be your product roadmap, it could be a marketing campaign, it could be a support ticket, etc. And once you're done, it all syncs with your Slack, and you have all of these decisions accessible when you need it, where you need it, right? Guys, I've tried this out and it makes you super productive. If you're even remotely interested, I suggest you go to clergo.com, that's CLERGO.com, and check it out for yourself. Cheers. Kinds. So, one of the important changes that you've made this year, and it's something that struck me with a lot of surprise, is when you moved these physical events to virtual, right? And I remember, I think in March or April, doing my second event with Hello Meets, and it was virtual. I really missed the whole physical element of it, I mean, because the physical event, especially the one that I did, I just did not want it to be a presentation rather than an interactive session, right? So I would just, put up a slide and then ask people about it. And, we'd go back and forth. And, if you remember the first session that I did, I think I planned for 30 minutes and then it went to some 90 minutes or 2 hours or something of that sort, right? This shift from physical events to virtual events, how has that been for you?
It has been good for the business for sure, because overall our numbers have increased. And would you like to know about the shift, like how we did it, like
Absolutely.
or
Take us through
okay?
that.
So it was very random again. I think it's just that it was fast response. So what happened? I still remember the date. It was 4th of March. We used to work from co-working, and I suddenly saw, everybody was buying sanitizers, and everybody was keeping them with their laptop. And suddenly I realized, shit, हमारे next weekend event पे लोग आएंगे क्या? Because all of them are buying sanitizers. Like that means they are feeling like now they are scared, right? So this came to my mind, and then that very time I saw Sundar posting on Twitter saying that Gtalk का पता नहीं कौन सा वाला चीज we are giving for free. I've forgotten the exact post, but it was related to this only, right? Because of course, like they also understood कि Corona is coming, and now there is a big opportunity for Google Meet. So there was something like that, and जब मैंने वो देखा, plus मैंने ये देखा कि sanitizer, everybody is buying sanitizer, so I completely took the action. Like I suddenly, I asked my team ki, hey, jaldi jaldi dekhte hain kya use karna hai, because I'm sure now people are scared, they will stop coming. So all the events that we are doing from coming weekend need to go online. So that day, I think we read a bit about Google Meet, a bit about Zoom. Chose Zoom, and announced everywhere that we are moving online. So it was simple, frankly speaking, but just that I think the best thing was that we acted quickly. The moment we saw people buying sanitizers, it gave us this thing. So alert ho gaya. And baki, I think it was easy, but it was again easy again. Again, I think thanks to compounding wala thing, because only because we were doing all this, people trusted us online also, because we already had customers, already had community, already had speakers. In fact, I remember first month what we did, thanks to speakers like you and others. So what we did, because the shift was very sudden, right? So few speakers we had already fixed for offline events, and so what we did, we thought, shit, like what to do, because abhi agar again we'll start fixing the events from scratch, time will get wasted and our revenue will fall for this particular month. And anyway, we are bootstrapped and we have to make sure that we do well each month. So what we did, we thought, okay, the best way is, let's take help of our old relationships that we have built. Let's email our old speakers. So I think one of was you who came to our mind, and we had emailed I think 20-30 people, because it was easier to get them again, right? Because they trusted us. And so that's what we did. I think thanks to them, I think we had a lot of repeat customers in March and April. And majorly the reason was that. So again, see, the compounding nature of relationships helped us.
Right.
Thanks.
And you've built a global audience now, right? I mean, I see a lot of global speakers as well, so that has been a positive. So you've turned this thing into an advantage for you, right?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of them.
So I want to come to specific aspects of building and engaging a community, right? How do you define like the core culture of the community? So what does Hello Meets stand for? Why should someone be part of the Hello Meets community?
Okay, so people should be part of Hello Meets community if they want to stay ahead of the curve. So we make sure, we get very trending topics all the time. You must have seen we are doing
Mm,
meetups on No Code, and I have not seen anyone else doing meetups on No Code, at least in India. I'm not
mm,
seeing like the people I'm following. So yeah, we make sure, we get the trendy stuff so that people feel that, something different or something which we need to know in our career next is, coming to Hello Meets. And then there's, community element. You must have seen like it's for us, it's not that आप event पे आए तो हो गया. So we keep bringing people together through, still, we are running some free online meetups for Hangouts, because you were very right, like online expert meetups are very good for learning something, but
mm,
then there's networking missing. So for that, we are now coming up with Hello Meets clubs. We'll be having clubs for content writers, for PMs and all. And the idea there is, peer group learning. Like imagine, you are a content writer at content head at Vimo. I'm a content head at Instamojo. And we, share our notes and everything, that, how I'm scaling the content, how I built the system and everything. So that's what we are doing. So I think that part will help in, the networking part. And also we are doing these free networking hangouts every Friday evening for each
mhm,
community. So that's there. So yeah, so people, they don't come for just one time learning. Of course the learning element is there, and we make sure we are getting the most trendy topics and the best speakers and everything. But other than that, people also feel that it's not, one time we have paid and we'll just attend and Hello Meets forgets us. So we
mm,
make them feel that, they can ask us for help, like in case they're hiring, in case, they are themselves looking for a job or a partnership or a freelancer. So that thing is there. So people look at this like, they feel that they can anytime, come back to Hello Meets and ask for stuff. Yeah,
right,
they need
right.
anything related to startup. So
Right. So basically, it extends beyond the transactional into some sort of a continuous learning and networking opportunity, right? And through the various avenues that you provide. So that's fantastic. Now, the great thing about the human element in the business is that, there is that energy, there's that whole visceral sort of a feeling of meeting people and, that positive element, right? There is also a downside to it. It can get extremely random, right? And we see this often when you're part of WhatsApp groups, and it just happens, right? I mean, people post all kinds of nonsense, or it devolves into something that you did not want it to be, right? How do you maintain these things? What are some guardrails that you've established to sort of keep the community focused on what the objective is?
okay, so firstly, add only those people who have attended meetups. Try and avoid people who have not attended. Okay, even if not attended, maybe if your reference is coming, like say for example, you tell me that Saiba, can you please add my friend? That's fine because it's coming
Mm,
through a referral, right? So I think that really helps. And then secondly, I mean, just be strict. Like you must have seen, like I think yesterday only something happened, right? Some
mm,
person was being rude in the group. So then you can simply remove that person. And again, it depends. If
mm,
it's normal mistake, you can always DM them and
mm,
tell them about the guidelines. But yeah, I think that's it. I think they're just little things, which
mm,
make the environment better. Like I
mm,
think one of them is this, because we had made a lot of WhatsApp groups where there were people who had not come to Hello Meets. And frankly speaking, those groups are not good, because I think
mm,
the people themselves, they are not aware about the environment. Like people who have come to Hello Meets, they know, how people behave and what kind of people come here, how we
mm.
have to talk and everything. So that also makes a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
So very small background happening. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, be really hardcore about the kind of people you allow into this, and I mean the kind of content you
Yeah.
curate, right? So
Yeah.
really be yeah, yeah. So uh, I'm just curious. I mean, how many of these groups do you run?
Oh, they're 150 plus.
Holy shit. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, these are subsets within the communities itself, right? So you have a marketers Bangalore group, for example. I'm sure that you'll have a marketers Delhi and whatever other city group. You'll have product groups, and you'll have engineering groups, and so on and so forth. any interesting trends that you see? I mean, that, marketers behave a certain way and then, product folks behave a certain way and so on.
Marketers talk the most. Uh,
Guilty as
yeah.
charged.
Then second is PMs. Founders talk the least. But the trend that I've observed is founders don't leave the group, but they don't talk. They don't talk at all. But what I know from the back end is like the backside story is that whenever I see some attendees coming to Hello Meets from the startups, jinke founders are there in the group, they tell us that our founder keeps forwarding the meetups on our Slack group. So the
Right.
thing is, maybe they are not leaving the group and they want to be there just for their team because they know कि चलो मुझे यहाँ पे पता चलेगा and I'll keep my team updated. So yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
everybody has different kind of behavior and marketers are the most talkative people. Yeah.
Of course. Of course, they have a lot of things to say.
Yeah.
Usually nice and interesting things, right? So,
Yeah.
just to round things off, right? So, if somebody is building a community, whoever is hearing this, right? What are some one or two things that they should do? Like, what is your 3-step process to building an engaged community?
Okay, so I feel number one, you should build a community for the thing that you love. That's the first thing. Otherwise, you won't do well. And then number two, you should start with a very niche community. Like even for example, if you like fashion, you should not add everybody doing fashion because in fashion also, there'll be makeup artists, there'll be stylists, there'll be fashion on. So you should once you learn one specific thing, then only you can replicate it. And secondly, you should help people because in the whole fund of community is bringing people together and people feeling that others are going to help thing, they will reply, they will help me. So that's the entire fund of community, a peer group which is there to help other. So that you should ensure that that environment is created. So for that, the people who become a part of a community are very important, and that's why I think niche communities are becoming more popular and are in more demand now, right? Like rather than huge platforms like Facebook and all. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
So
that's that's
that that
absolutely true. It
that those
gets
are.
it gets a little random. I mean, if you have all sorts of people, right? And usually, I mean, most of these interests are on a spectrum. I mean, as you rightly pointed out, fashion could mean anything, right? From one end to another. So maybe start with a niche and then, evolve from there. Um, what are your thoughts on monetizing these communities? I mean, how are you planning to sort of monetize this in the future? I mean, right, I know that right now you have uh, like a fee for the meetups as such, but any other monetization opportunities that you've thought of?
So I don't think too much. Not that I'm not planning to do Hello Meets for long. I think I'm very sure about Hello Meets. I like it so much that I'm planning to do it all my life. But
You should.
I'll be frank. I think it's very stupid to say what will happen after 5 years because अगर मैं last year इस year के बारे में बोलती, I didn't even know it will go online, right? Like and what will be happening. But yeah, there are small things which I can share with you, which are suddenly happening, within like next 6 months. I believe in present and the sudden 3 6 months. So that's there, and I think for that the clubs will not be free, which I just spoke about. They'll be monetized. We don't know exactly how. Mostly we are thinking about having a something like monthly fee where they don't get only access to these club meetups but more than that. We need to think about that. And secondly, we are also coming up with uh, huge long expanded live meetups where basically people will get 101 kind of coaching, like not like 101, like there'll be meetup only at the end of the day, but like just batches of 20 people and going in depth. By the way, our first master class is going to happen with Afla Jina from Bimo.
Oh,
It's we are planning it for 2021 Jan.
nice.
She's going to take one. Yeah, she's planning one course kind of a thing on product management.
Fantastic.
So right now, even the name is not fixed. We are planning to call it something like Hello Meets Premium Plus Plus. I don't know. Let's see what we'll call it.
Right.
But yeah, those are the plans for now. So those are two other monetize wala thing. But other than that, I don't know what will happen in future. But I'm
Right.
sure like if we stay at, we'll see more trends. We'll figure out
Yeah.
more things which people want, and one can always keep on adding them. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think if you just stick to this funda of compounding, right? I mean, I'm sure that the value that you are delivering will compound if, as long as you stick to that, sort of a 1% improvement on a daily basis, I would say. All right, so we're, approaching the end of the podcast, and 800 plus meetups in the last 5 years. What are your one or two most interesting anecdotes from these 5 years?
So I think I'll again, put focus to compounding and consistency. I think good things take consistent work.
Mm-hmm.
So one should be very consistent, and that's there. And then also, I feel when you're building a community and relationships, it's the best thing is, to be like to really understand them. And so it's a me too funda, right? Like people should feel that, so I think I recently posted on Twitter, friendship starts the moment you say, me too, or I feel that, and things like that. And so yeah, that's something which one should follow if you are building a community. Yeah, be in their
Cool.
shoes and understand, their part. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Sahiba, this has been fascinating. Thank you so much for making the time. Really, really happy to see,
Welcome.
your growth as well, and look forward to staying in touch.
Thanks. Okay, bye. Take care. All the
Bye.
best for
Thank
your
you so much.
podcast. Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. If you liked this episode, then don't forget to subscribe to us on your favorite platform and share this episode with all of your fellow startup operators. Also, follow the Startup Operator on LinkedIn and Twitter for more updates. Stay safe, take care, and see you soon on a brand new episode of the Startup Operator.